Being in the work world, you can't help but get feedback. Sometimes you ask if you are that humble types and you think it works for you. And many a times you don't ask, you still get, right? So if you're working in a company, you have a boss, and the boss will tell you when he or she feels it's appropriate. And sometimes unsolicitedly, your peers may also give you feedback. And definitely, there are moments in today's world where we have more expressive colleagues who are reporting to us. They may also tell you that, these things are working, these things are not working, whether we like it or not. If not anything else, when they leave you, that's when you get to hear of what they think of you. And that all are, for me, a kind of a feedback on our leadership styles. Many of these have their own conflict of interest because they come in the form and create a threat. The bosses tell you there is a conflict of interest, we would like to believe so. When the peers tell something to you, you would like to believe that they're competing with you. So, there is a conflict of interest. And definitely when your report is telling you, you would like to believe that, they don't want to work in a particular way that you prescribed and it's their way of resisting it. So whom do you actually trust when they give you feedback? Yeah, today is the world of coaches, and coaches can tell you, but coaches are not in action with you together to know how exactly you're operating. They're possibly operating from a remote world where you are telling them what's happening in the world or somebody else has told them. So I think uh, it is possibly the most non-conflicting feedback you can get from coaches, but at the same time, when it comes to you, it comes hard and it's difficult to implement. So what's worked for me so far? For me, I found uh, a feedback which is indirect and something which influenced me, inspired me to change. And that I found always when I observed other teams, when I looked at, sometimes within our own organization, sometimes outside the organization. And of course, you need to have the processing mind. I've not always had that, but when I chose to, curiously look out, I realized that there were things to be learned from other teams, and I found it very, very non-intimidating. And because nobody's telling you, because maybe it's my wiring. Some of you may be more open to listening to feedback from bosses and peers and reportees, but I always found, like I said, my filter was when this person is telling me there is a conflict of interest, and unless it's a customer, I believe that customers may not have that kind of a conflict of interest to tell you something that they're how they're experiencing you. I've been really blessed with some good coaches, so they told me a few things, and I'm hoping I've changed, and I hope to change further for my own betterment. But the real issue is to look out honestly and look at other teams and say, what's happening here? What's happening there? I found that very powerful. And there are many examples of that, but I want to ask you, which form of feedback has really inspired you and allowed you to change, allowed you to learn if it required to be? And has it come from bosses? Has it come from peers? Has it come from reporters? I'm sure it's a combination of all of them. And some of them could be purely implicit. You know, somebody told us, we didn't act on it, but because it was somewhere here, subconsciously we acted on it later. So, which is the most powerful form of feedback that has really changed your life so far? Let me know what you think.